Welcome to FarkleBar.com. So, many of you are probably wondering, how did I ever come up with the FarkleBar? This is the FarkleBar right here, and I designed it because with your motorcycle you have a left handlebar and a right handlebar, and so putting the first item on is easy. You put it on that left side, run a wire back to the battery. Then the second item is fairly easy also. You put something on the right side, run a wire back to the battery. When you go to the third item is when you start having problems. So I built a FarkleBar that uses the popular ram mounts, and I like the ram mounts because they hold so well, and now instead of just left and right, I have 3 more positions for a total of 5 positions. Now, this attaches to the handlebars via 2 arms, which I'll show in just a minute, and it allows me for a total of 5 devices on here. Normally these devices are electronic. As an example, radar detector, cell phone, GPS, satellite radio. Problem is they all take electricity and they run on battery, and it seems that, especially if you're in remote areas, your battery goes down fairly quickly. So I needed a power solution. Now, we've all done kind of the same thing. You decide you're going to wire your bike. The first time you do it, it's kind of an adventure. The second time you do it, it is, you know what you're doing, and you can get it done pretty good. Third time you do it, it's a real pain, because you've done this before. In fact, I have held off on buying a new bike just simply because of the wiring investment I have on this one. So what I did, I thought about it, I went through the process, everybody does. So I had all these wires back at the battery, and I had just a wiring mess. In fact, I needed longer battery bolts, but then now it is shorted against the frame. So I thought, well, I've got to do some kind of junction or fuse box. And so, of course, there wasn't room for the wires, and so there isn't room for a junction box back there either, so I ended up putting the junction box and fuse box up under the fairing at the front of the bike, and everything worked until one time I was out in the middle of nowhere and I blew a fuse, and then I realized I had to take the bike apart to find out which fuse blew. So there's got to be a better way. This comes from hours of driving down the road thinking, what else can I do? So what I designed was a power box that has 1 wire going to the battery, and then I have 4 USB plugs. So you can plug in your GPS, you can plug in your cell phone, you can plug in your wife's cell phone. If you need to plug in your radar detector, you need 12 volt. I have 12 volt coming out of the side here, and also on this side here. You'll probably notice that plug matches the coax plug that's used on your gerbings. You can run a total of 15 amps through this box. Now, USBs will do up to 3 amps, total of 15. So if you want to plug your jacket in, you're fine. If you want to plug your jackets and pants and socks and gloves, that's going to be over your 15 amps. So you've been out for a ride in the afternoon, it's gotten cold, you don't feel like digging under your seat to find your wire where you had placed it in the spring. You can just plug your electrics in right here. Now, also with this has a master switch on the front. I wanted to be able to run my electronic devices without having power on the bike. With the older GPSs, if you drop the power, they didn't have a battery on them, and so basically you had to have the bike turned on to program the GPS. I did not like having the bike on or running and the heat coming off the bike while I'm programming the GPS. I guess maybe I'm just slow with programming it. Also, you'll notice this little light right here, that's a security light. Now, I actually call that the lunch light. And the reason why I call it the lunch light is because you've had a nice ride all morning, you pull into a restaurant parking lot, you park your bike, you go inside, and where does the hostess seat you? Well, Hostess 101 manual. I'm sure it says all bikers go to the back where they can't see their bike. Now, what I'm going to do here is just flip this switch right here, and you'll see that the security light or lunch light starts flashing. Now, somebody sees that, what do they think? I think some type of security or alarm, whatever. Between me and you, it's a flashing light. Now, we're probably going to change that in the future, and they don't know when, so anybody watching this video thinking that they can rip this off may be surprised. Now, that takes care of one thing, but another thing that we have, I don't like leaving all this stuff on my bike out at the motel overnight. You know, we've all been there. You get the fancy cover and you put it over your bike, and then all night you're looking out the curtains, check on the bike to see if anybody's messing with it. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just take all this stuff and just take it into the motel with you? This is what I do. I turn the power off, disconnect this one wire, I loosen this on the one side, loosen on the other, and it would be just really slick if I could just take that whole thing into the motel room with me. Now you'll notice this wire here, that is a standard SAE connector, and that also doubles for your battery tender. Now I would be willing to bet you, like me, have never used your battery tender while riding. It's just really a short trip. So why not dual purpose that wire? So instead of having 4 or 5 wires back at your battery, now we just have one. Now, do you remember what I said about buying a new bike? So, if you buy a new bike, all you have to do is get one of these wires like this. This costs 20 bucks. Give that to your dealer when he preps your bike for you. He'll put it on for free. Just tell him you want this out of the steering head, and add a couple ram mounts, you're ready to go. So you come out of the motel in the morning. I used to spend like 15 minutes getting everything all lined up again. All you do is drop on the FarkleBar, and you get one of the things lined up where you had it yesterday, and because you haven't moved anything else, everything else lines up just exactly how you had it. So you tighten those down, you connect the power, and you flip the switch on, and now you're ready to go. So this is the FarkleBar. Now with this one we have 5 mounting positions. We do have another unit that is good for sport bikes. This is called the Mini. Now you see it has 4 mounting positions, but in actuality it has additional holes here, so you can mount additional balls. You'll see it has a very nice fit and finish to it. This works good on your sport bikes. The regular FarkleBar Lite, which is a little bit longer, works a little better on GS's, K16s, and your full-size sport tours. So that is the FarkleBar, and if you have any questions, call us at FarkleBar.com. Thank you very much.